Hi, and thanks for watching this video, which is about my Homebrew computer. And this is a final video for this evening. I thought I would just very quickly show you loading fonts from the SD card. So I'm using the MAME emulator now rather than the actual real hardware. It's just easier to use, and I also get a very stable image, obviously coming from the emulator versus trying to capture the video, the monitor through video with bad lighting, and it's a composite output and everything else. So hopefully you'll be able to see things much more clearly. And by the way, the MAME emulation of this is coming out on GitHub in the quite near future. So if you want to have a play around with it, then that's something that you will be able to do. So first things first, I've booted up in MAME and loaded the SD card image. So now this emulator thinks it's got the SD card attached. If I do a directory listing, we can see that there is and there are a number of folders. I want to go to a folder called data, and in here there are some more folders, and I'm going to go to the folder called font. Now in here we see a few different files. These are all Spectrum binary font file format, 768 bytes, which is basically 96 characters defined, just the main ASCII characters essentially. And I got these fonts from a site called damieng.com, and I'll just put it out on here, damieng.com, and he or she or they have a ZX Origins section with a whole bunch of free fonts basically in there, which I think is fantastic that they've allowed us to use their wonderful work, as long as you mention it. So that's what I've done. I've downloaded those fonts, put them on the SD card, and now I've got a whole bunch of them. Now to load these fonts, I have got the ability to load binary files into video memory at a specific address, but that's a pain. So I've created a shortcut version of that called font, and as long as I'm in the right directory, which I am, I'll be able to load these fonts and then take a look at what the font looks like. Now the extensions on these fonts, instead of CH8, which is the normal Spectrum extension, I've used my own extensions, F with 2 characters. The F means it's font, and 00 means it's the standard set, whereas FBD means it's a font that's in bold, and then FSB means it's semi-bold, and it looks like I've forgotten to rename one of the files, and it's still called CH8, but basically I will rename that to F00, meaning it's a standard font. So let's try one. Let's try kindness. I can see there's 2 types of kindness. And maybe there's many types of kindness in the world, but there's 2 types of font called kindness. And if I type font kindness.f00, what I get is I get a not found error because I have to type it in correctly. So let's go again. Font kindness.f00. There we go. And go. And now you can see we've got a cool looking funky font. Like this very much. Let's load a program so that we can kind of see what it looks like. Now this there you go. Here's a listing of a program. I'm not going to run the program. I just want to show something on the screen. So let's go back to our fonts directory. Okay. So let's look at what we've got. We've got kindness. Let's try kindness bold, font kindness.fbd, and clearly that's much bolder. I can read that much better as well. One nice thing about these fonts as well is this is in 32 column mode, which is 8 pixel characters. But if I go to mode 0, number one, the font's been reset, so it's always good to be able to reset the font. But let me go and do that font again. That's F bold. And what's nice is that the author of the font has made some of their fonts able to work in 6 pixel wide formats. So that helps on the 40 color mode of the TMS 9918. That's pretty cool. So let's look at some more fonts. Okay, let's load another font called Runed. I like this one. And look at that. It's like Lord of the Rings or something. I could definitely do a cool adventure game with that. And let's load, let's try another one. Conapt. I quite like the look of Conapt. So let's CONAPT.F00 first, so you can see what that looks like. Look at that. That is fantastic, isn't it? Very, very cool looking indeed. And if I look at, let's load the font Conapt.FSB, which is the semi-bold. There we go. I think it's really great work. The fact that it's freely available as well is excellent. So let's try the Conapt. It's interesting. It's Conapt.fbd. I mean, obviously there's you can't do everything. So you know, 6 pixel wide is a bit of a restriction. So the N looked like an R in that one, but this is still pretty cool, isn't it? Love it. So there's a few fonts there. Let's just load Protract, because I can't remember what that looks like. Protract.ch8. Oh yes, it's kind of like a slanted. So very, very good indeed. Very, very appreciative to Damie Eng to allow the use of their fonts, and I'll finish with have I tried District. Let's do District font District dot, let's go straight with the bold, shall we? FBD. Wow, that's nice, isn't it? That's nice. Not every single character is well kind of easy to recognize, like the $ there, for example, but the actual alphanumerics are really nice. Anyway, 9 minutes in. I didn't want it to be this long, so thank you if you're still watching this video, and hope you enjoyed it.